Well, thanks everyone for joining us for the May 12th, 2022 regular board meeting of the URA. Let the record reflect all board members are present. The first item on the board agenda is approval of the April 14th, 2022 meeting minutes. I have a motion?
So move.
Second? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions, the motion carries. Public comment, we did not have any registered speakers for public comment, so we'll move on to announcements.
Yep,
do we know?
That's fine.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Dylan.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon. On the screen, you're going to see some highlights from our Q1 of 2022 impact report. So these are hearing some feedback, I think, from Jennifer. Sorry. So the stats on your screen, there we go. The stats on your screen are just some high-level summary statistics from the full report, which is available on our website. So if you go to ura.org, go to the impact tab, you can see our full report. But I'll just show some of the work that's being done by the URA from the first quarter. So just to jump in, 41 businesses were connected with technical assistance to the URA in the first quarter. Additionally, the URA assisted 114 individuals in staying in their homes through housing crisis prevention and housing related legal assistance, which are both from Housing Opportunity Fund programs, the Housing Stabilization Program and the Legal Assistance Program, respectively. Additionally, 13 were assisted in achieving homeownership through the URA in the first quarter, which comes from our down payment and closing cost assistance program. 93 units of affordable housing were created or preserved, which comes from our residential and consumer lending data just generally. 24 loans were closed between the URA and its affiliates worth over $1.8 million in the first quarter. And additionally, we supported neighborhoods by dispersing $362,000, which is maintaining vacant lots through land care and supporting neighborhood projects through the Neighborhood Initiative Fund. So if anyone else has further interest in reading the rest of the report, please go to our website on the impact page. And that's all I had. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank you, Dylan. Any questions or comments from the board? It's great to see the work, Dylan, as you've shown on here, just kind of rolled up, for the impact that the URA is making every quarter. So thank you and the team for both tracking this and the work everyone's doing every day. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Were there other announcements from the staff? No. Okay. I just wanted to note that the board did meet in executive session to discuss a personnel matter on April 29th. And then we also were briefed by staff on May 6th regarding today's agenda. The briefing was for informational purposes only. With that, we'll move into the regular meeting agenda. Avenues of Hope. First is commercial lending and investments. I believe we're hearing from Keith on this one.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Board consideration of a commercial loan of up to $1.37 million from the Pittsburgh Business Fund to support a locally owned business reopening a grocery store and restaurant in the Hill District. Space is at 1850 Center Avenue.
Sorry to interrupt, but could you speak up, or you're coming across very faintly?
Give me 1 second. Is that better?
A little bit.
You might want to get close.
Just yell, Keith. Yeah, just yell.
I can do that. Once again, sorry, but we are requesting a board consideration of a commercial loan of up to $1.37 million from the Pittsburgh Business Fund to support a locally owned business reopening a grocery store and a restaurant in the Hill District. The space is 1850 Center Avenue, also known as the Center Heldman Plaza. Previously, the URA sought applications to fill the vacant space. Based on community input and review of applications, Salem's market was selected. Salem's is a locally run, minority-owned business for over 40 years in Pittsburgh. Total projected costs are estimated to be approximately $6.78 million. If approved, the URA loan funds will be used for leasehold improvements, equipment, inventory, working capital, and various other expenses related to operations of the new facility. The location is within a designated avenue of hope in the heart of the Hill District neighborhood of the city, and the project will provide the community a new grocery store and was currently a food desert. Additionally, the project will also support locally owned business and bring much needed jobs to the area. There is sufficient collateral and operations will support the debt service. Once again, we request board consideration of the proposal to include a waiver of the PBF guidelines due to the size in excess of 500,000. Thank you for your consideration.
Thanks, Keith. I believe Mr. Salem's on the line, or no? It doesn't look like it. Okay.
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm still working the system. I apologize.
Oh, good. We
Kyle,
are
before
too,
we-
so
Kyle,
everything's good.
before we advance too further, I just want to make sure that Sam was able to rejoin.
It looks like it. I see him on here twice. Sam, are you transferring from one to the next?
Yes.
As evidence of us working it out ourselves. So he's on there. Daniel, there was also the question related to captions. I don't know if you want to address that while you have the floor.
We have captions available on the Facebook live stream. Unfortunately, I'm not able to live caption the meeting at this time.
Okay, great. Thank you. With that, we'll turn the floor over to you, Mr. Salem, if you want to share with us about the project and your family's business and the impact you're looking to make.
Oh, thank you very much. First of all, I wanted to say thank you, the utmost thanks to the URA for supporting us throughout this vision and giving us the opportunity to even apply for this project. I hope everyone can hear me.
We can.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. So I want to say, the utmost thanks to the URA for just the support and giving us the opportunity to present to the community and giving us this opportunity. And it's really not lost on us how big of an opportunity this is for us. As Salem's Market and Grill, we are a small, minority-owned, humble business in the Strip District. And we really strive only for one thing, is just to have big impact on the community that we serve. We wake up every day and work all day and night for one thing only, just to service the community that serves us. And we definitely believe that it's our moral and ethical duty to continue to support the communities that we serve. So, by us coming to the Hill District, we have always had a vision of growing our business into a full one-stop shop where you can find everything that you need. And we tell ourselves we're the closest thing to back home, no matter where you're from. The Strip District is a beloved community, and it deserves the absolute best from a grocer. And while we've been growing, we really see this as the best platform for our future growth and the neighborhood as the right opportunity for us to grow into. What we're bringing to the Hill District is much different than was there before, and much different than what's available in Pittsburgh today. We're not looking to just quickly open up and redo the same shop and save experience that was there before. But we're really looking to bring an entire food, sort of a food mecca or a food Disneyland to the area that will include, a full service bakery, 2 full service food concepts, the Salem's Grill, as well as a Bird's Hot Chicken concept, the new fried chicken Nashville concept that we're bringing into the location. We're going to do full farm to table fresh meats. So we're looking to come into this location and process all of our fresh meats on site, to do fresh seafood on site, to have a full bakery, the full restaurant, as well as everything that you can find from a conventional grocery as well as the international grocery. So it'll be all of our international goods, but most importantly, about 80% of the grocery store space will be saved for conventional groceries. So residents of the Hill District will be able to find everything from Tide to their laundry detergent, to farm to table produce, to farm to table meats, to fresh baked goods, whether they're croissants or bagels or donuts or baguettes, as well as being able to come in and find hot, fresh food every single day, not only in the kitchen, but having all that food cold so that people can use and benefit from their EBT benefits. And we really recognize that we want to come in with the right location and the right space that the Hill District deserves. So we're really thankful, we're humbled by the opportunity, and we're very, very cognizant of the fact that this is a public building, that it's a public space, that it's owned by the community and not by Salem's. And we are just coming in as leaseholders to add value to the area. We are really looking forward to this opportunity. We're eagled and humbled by it. And most importantly, we know the duty that has been given to us by the resident, which is to solve a food desert. There's a big crisis going on in the Hill District, and we want to be the people who are solving it. And we truly see this as a public-private collaboration. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by Key Bank and the SBA, as well as the URA backing us on this project. So our goal is to take that investment and invest 100% back into the Hill District community to ensure that we are the grocers and we are the neighbors that the Hill District deserves. One, small thing for us is, failure is not an option. Not only is failure is not an option, mediocrity is not an option. For us, excellence is the only option. And we have been working day by day, renewing our existing location to make sure that we are holding up the Salem's name and really spending, even this morning, we spent the whole morning with kitchen designers to ensure that the kitchen is laid out properly, that there's all different sort of foods for the neighborhood to get to, as well as finding it an easy access to shop for all the residents of the Hill District. So for us, we take this as our community. We take this as our neighborhood, as our family. And the diversity, the equity, inclusion, for us, it's part of the way we do business. It's not a question for us whether diverse or equity. We are a minority business, and we plan to bring our special formula of doing business by hiring people from the area, by using local vendors, giving a considerable amount of the shelf space to local vendors, minority vendors, as well as opening up this entire location to be an asset of the community. So our goal is that there's community ownership over this, and the asset belongs to the community, and we are prayed that we have the ability to manage this to the best that the community deserves. And thank you so much. One thing for me, I won't let you down.
Thank you so much. Any questions or comments from the board?
I don't think we can say anything that can top that.
No.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you so much for the investment. I think we're all, as Councilman Lavelle said, echo everything that you said, and excited to watch the business grow and help support the Hill District community. So thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Great. Next on the agenda, Development Services, Avenues of Hope Wide, 2022 9% LIHTC pre-application. Evan and Nicholas.
Evan, are you there?
Evan was just here. Nicholas is here. He's still muted.
Evan is on. It looks like he got booted out and then had to rejoin. I'm not sure what's going on with Zoom today, but
sorry, yeah,
having a rough one.
I got moved to being an attendee for a second. I don't know how that happened, so sorry about that. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Evan Miller with the Residential Lending Unit here at the URA, and this item pertains to the current year's 9% low-income housing tax credit program, LIHTC for short, administered by PHFA. And for those unfamiliar, LIHTC is a program that's operated around the country where the IRS basically allocates federal tax credits to each state, and then their respective HFAs distribute those credits to a limited number of projects each year. Those credits get sold to investors, and this then provides massive infusions of capital to help support the development of affordable rental housing. In Pennsylvania, the 9% credit is extremely competitive. And in recent years, the URA and the city have been trying to really do whatever is within our power to support these projects applying from Pittsburgh. Part of that has been a standardized pre-application so that the URA is able to compare this year's cohort of projects to each other to better understand kind of the overall development landscape. We also gauge what the upcoming capital budget needs might be in order to support them, and to provide site control for city or URA owned land that's called upon for these projects. So this year, URA received 11 pre-applications for projects within the city. 10 of them included preliminary funding requests from the URA, and 4 of them require either city or URA owned land. The full LIHTC applications are due to PHFA by June 30th. Any proposed URA financial support that's being asked for by these projects is going to be subject first and foremost to an allocation of tax credits from PHFA and future URA board approval. So there's no action that's needed today for the letters of financial support that we're going to be providing to these projects. But on the other hand, evidence of site control is a requirement for PHFA's LIHTC application. So the approval of exclusive negotiations for these projects today, it's initially being requested through December 31st of 2022. This is to allow for sufficient time for PHFA to actually come down with their funding decisions on their 9% allocations this year. And then for the developments that do end up receiving tax credits, that exclusive negotiations authorization is going to be able to be extended to reflect PHFA's closing deadlines for the 9% LIHTC projects. So just a very brief description of the projects that are requesting site control. First, on North Homewood Avenue, McCormick Barron Salazar was the selected respondent from a fall 2021 URA issued request for information. And they'll be serving the RFI was looking for a developer to shepherd the development of 6 publicly owned parcels on North Homewood Avenue between Susquehanna Street and Hamilton Avenue. The proposed construction of MBS's building is 60 residential units. It's mixed use, it's mixed income. There can be 10,000 square feet of retail on the ground floor with the 60 units above. It's a mix of 1 and 2 bedroom units, and 45 of the 60 units are going to be affordable households at varying income levels at or below 60% AMI. The next project is in Hazelwood at 4800 2nd Avenue, and the community builders is proposing the construction of a 44 unit, also mixed income, mixed use building at the intersection of 2nd and Hazelwood Avenues. This is also going to be a mix of 1 and 2 bedroom units, with 37 of the 44 units being affordable. Bedford Dwellings Phase 1 is being undertaken by Trek Development, and they've teamed up with the Housing Authority, their development subsidiary, which is Allies and Ross Management, to carry out this development, which will be the first development ahead of an application to HUD for a Choice Neighborhoods implementation grant, which would then ideally lead to several future phases. But this site specifically was formerly home to Reed Roberts Manor, and it's at the intersection of Reed and Roberts Streets. And the new development is using what's called a twinning strategy. They're going to use a 9% and a 4% LIHTC to deliver this. The full Bedford Phase 1 development is approximately 120 units. The 9% component specifically is going to have 60 units with a mix of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. And 37 of those units are going to be affordable to households that are below 60% of the area median income. And then lastly, Legacy Village is a joint venture between Legacy International Worship Center and Bridging the Gap Development. They're going to seek 9% LIHTC to do a scattered site project along Wilson Avenue in the Perrysville South neighborhood of Pittsburgh. And the project includes some scattered site infill, new construction of detached housing, and then a 14-unit building on what's currently the site of Legacy International's Worship Center. So this is a 34-unit project ranging from 1 to 4 bedrooms, and all of them are going to be rented affordably to varying income levels below 60% AMI. So those round out the 4 projects that actually require board action today. Exclusive negotiations is really the first step for these projects, and if they're awarded tax credits, the board's going to see them several more times for either transactions related approvals or for URA financing approvals. And although there's no formal URA board approval needed for the other Pittsburgh applicants, for informational purposes, I do want to let it be known that the other projects submitting to PHFA are located in Hazelwood at the Hazelwood Green site, in Belts Hoover, Oakland, Uptown, East Hills, and then the Terrace Village section of the Hill District / West Oakland. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up and I'll open it up to the board for any questions or comments. Thanks.
Thanks, Evan. Any questions or comments from the board?
I mean, pretty straightforward, but I just want to say it's great to see us working in our other avenues of hope. I know we put a lot of money and focus, recently on Center Avenue and Homewood Avenue, but really excited to see Perrysville included in here, and hopefully going forward, or maybe in the near future, we can have an update as a board on some of the other avenues of hope projects that are coming online that we don't hear as much about.
Great. Thanks, Director Powell. Any other questions or comments? Okay. With that, entertain a motion from the board.
Second.
Second. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right, the motion carries. Next on the agenda, residential lending and investments. A number of items, South Oakland, Garfield, Squirrel Hill South, and Polish Hill. Evan, I think you're on for this one too, right?
I am, yeah. I'm stepping in. Victoria Jackson, my colleague, this is really her project and deserves the credit for this, but she's not able to be with us today. So
okay.
I will talk about the Fraser North Residences, which is a project of Oakland Planning and Development Corporations, and they're requesting $325,000 of construction grant financing to help fund the development of 4 for-sale single-family homes on Fraser Street in South Oakland. Each home is going to be 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and it's going to be sold to households. Each unit will be sold to households at or below 80% of the area median income, and each unit will have a sales price of $175,000. The 4 homes are going to be included in the Oakland Community Land Trust, which will make them permanently affordable and provide homeownership opportunities in perpetuity for households at or below 80% of the area median income. And of these 4 units, 1 is going to be sold to a household that's at risk of homelessness, and 2 are being reserved for households that have a family member with special needs. All of the homeowners are also going to have access to supportive services and case management and financial coaching through the OPDC Financial Opportunity Center. And additionally, each home is going to have 1 bedroom and a full bathroom on the first floor, making these adaptable for either multi-generational families or families that do have a family member with special needs. So Oakland Planning is anticipating beginning construction in the next couple of months and hopes to complete the units by the end of the year. And in addition to committing their own equity in this project, overall, the project costs are around $1.8 million. OPDC has been awarded Federal Home Loan Bank Affordable Housing Program funds, and they also have a construction loan commitment from West Banco. So the proposed $325,000 grant here today will be sourced with the Housing Opportunity Funds for Sale Development Program. And it spans the years of 2019, 2020, and 2021, and we'll have a permanent 99-year deed restriction that goes along with it. So Wanda Wilson's the executive director of OPDC, and I actually don't think she's able to be here today either, so I apologize.
She's here.
Oh, she is. Oh,
Wanda's
right.
there. Yeah.
Then Wanda is here. I'm going to open it up for any questions then. And Wanda, if you have any comments, feel free to chime in.
Hi, it's Wanda. I'm happy to have this be considered by the URA board and really appreciate the opportunity to get these houses built in a great area where there's already some other community land trust homes, and it's a nice concentration homeownership on some vacant lots in South Oakland. So thank you very much for your consideration.
Thanks, Juana. If the board's okay, we can take B, C, and D if we want to roll through the presentations of those and then entertain them as a slate. I think Nicholas is on for Garfield.
Yes, thanks, Kyle. Afternoon, everyone. I'm here in front of the board today requesting authorization to enter into a rental gap program loan agreement in the amount of $350,000 for the Laurentian Hall Rehabilitation Project on Penn Avenue in Garfield. This is a 36-unit apartment complex composed primarily of studios, 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom units, offering affordable rents to seniors and residents with disabilities. It is categorized as a HUD Section 221C property, which means that all residents are supported by project-based vouchers and are spending no more than 30% of their income on rent. To give a brief history of the building itself, it was originally an elementary school and then a Catholic high school. However, when the high school closed in 1984, a group of parishioners who owned the building collaborated with the Bloomfield Garfield Corporation, as well as the nonprofit developer Action Housing, in transforming the then defunct high school into an affordable housing complex for seniors. Additionally, catering to the particular needs of these residents, the aforementioned groups involved made sure to have staff that would always be on site, and to include the design of a common dining room where meals would be served for its residents to both eat and socialize with one another. And for more than 30 years, Laurentian Hall has provided a safe and affordable environment. However, unfortunately, given its age, the building is in need of a few major capital improvements whose costs are beyond the scope of the property management's reserves. These include things like roof replacement, replacement of the elevator control system and door operator, brick pointing and caulking, a new boiler, as well as sealing of their parking lot. And now in 2021, the boiler and parking lot were replaced and sealed respectively. However, for these last remaining items, the borrower, Laurentian Hall Associates Incorporated, has reached out to the URA requesting an RGP loan of $350,000 to finish these items. In terms of the loan of the RGP loan itself, it would be sourced from the Housing Opportunity Fund 2021 budget, and its terms would include a 50% cash flow repayment, as well as a record of a deed restriction on 28 units to secure long-term affordability over a 40-year period. It's also worth mentioning as well that this project has been presented to and approved by the Real Estate Loan Review Committee, as well as the Housing Opportunity Fund Advisory Board, and is certified as MWB compliant. Thank you very much. I would open the floor to questions and comments now, but I also have, if we're moving this to the end, I can introduce Rick Schwartz from the Bloomfield Garfield Corporation if he wants to provide any comments as well on this project.
Thanks, Nicholas. Rick, was there anything you'd like to add?
Kyle, I just want to thank Nicholas and Evan for bringing this project forward. This is the third project that we've brought to URA in the last 18 months around preserving affordable housing in our community. And Evan and Nicholas have done a nice job of getting this through the process to the point where the board is able to review it today. We do have a replacement reserve on the building, but this is also a building that is governed by a HUD mortgage loan agreement.
Okay.
And they will not permit us to drain the replacement reserve down to nothing in order to accomplish these improvements. So we have about $100,000 in the reserve, but HUD is requiring that we hold those funds for other capital needs beyond what we're talking about today. But overall, the building is doing well. It is cash flowing. It's fully occupied, even has a waiting list. And we're talking about very low income senior citizens and persons with disabilities. So the URA is to be commended for helping us with this project.
That's great. Thank you, Rick. The next project, Squirrel Hill South, Munhall Road Apartments. Nicholas, this is you too, right?
Yep. So in addition to Laurentian Hall, I'm also here in front of the board today to request another authorization for a rental gap program loan agreement in the amount of $250,000 for the Munhall Road Apartments rehabilitation project in the Squirrel Hill South neighborhood of Pittsburgh. This is a 12-unit multifamily HUD PRAC 811 building, a bit of a mouthful, that is offering affordable rents to residents with developmental disabilities who are spending no more than 30% of their income on rent. In terms of the history, though the building has been around for quite some time, the Munhall Road Apartments did not serve their present intended purpose until the late 1990s, when Action Housing and another nonprofit, known as the Jewish Residential Services, came together with the idea of creating an affordable housing complex that would help this vulnerable group in their ability to live independently. This also meant providing social wellness services programs offered by the Jewish Residential Services, who have a history of extensive experience working with this particular group. Now, unfortunately, similar to Laurentian Hall, given its age, the building is also in need of a few major repairs and capital improvements. However, neither the building's cash flow nor the property management's reserves are enough to cover the cost of these items. That is why the borrower, Munhall Road Apartments Incorporated, has approached the URA requesting an RGP loan of $250,000. These improvements would include things like exterior and interior painting, replacement of all the windows, replacement of common floor area carpeting, 4 new HVAC units, as well as plaster repair work throughout. Now, while the plaster repair work began in mid-February of this year, the remaining items would not see work begun until the RGP loan has been secured. It's also worth mentioning as well that the aforementioned Jewish Residential Services has offered a $100,000 grant toward these improvements, which would bring the total funding to $350,000 if the RGP loan is approved. Similar to Laurentian Hall as well, the terms of the loan would include a 50% cash flow repayment, as well as a record of a deed restriction on 9 units to secure long-term affordability over a 40-year period. And it would be sourced from the Housing Opportunity Fund 2021 budget. It's also been presented and approved by the Real Estate Owner Review Committee, as well as the Housing Opportunity Fund Advisory Board, and is also MWBE compliant. Thank you. With that said as well, then, I believe we also have April de la Cruz from the Jewish Residential Services to help in answering any questions that you have, and also to provide comments as well on this project.
Great. Thanks, Nicholas. Ms. De La Cruz, did you have anything else you'd like to add?
Sure, yeah. Can you hear us, Kyle?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I just have a point of clarity request. So in our board packet, it does say residents with developmental disabilities paying no more than 50% of their income on rent. I believe that you said 30% in your presentation. Just for clarity's sake, is it 30% or 50% AMI that we're serving with this project?
Oh, no, so the rents are set at 50% AMI, but these residents are supported by project-based vouchers. So they're spending no more than 30% of their income on the rent.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thanks, Nicholas. Ms. De La Cruz, I see that you're in as a presenter. I don't know if you had anything else you would like to add to Nicholas' presentation.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate your time today. And this project is really important to us. Like, we have been servicing the area since 1990s, and we just want to continue to provide those services to our individuals in Morris Hall. And it's really important that we're able to continue to help provide the low income housing for our participants. They are on very limited income, and we just want to ensure that they have a safe, healthy environment to continue to live and thrive in. So thank you so much.
That's great, thank you. And then lastly, under residential lending and investments, the TLT at the fire site on Brereton. Evan, I think this is you.
Yeah, I'll take this. Thank you, Chairman. Also a project of Victoria Jackson, so I'm stepping in for her here as well. But City of Bridges is requesting a $450,000 construction grant to finance the soft costs for the development related to four for-sale single-family homes on Brereton Street in Polish Hill. And 2 of the homes are going to be 2 bedrooms and 1.5 baths, and 2 are going to be 3 bedrooms and 1.5 baths. And all the units are going to be sold to households that are below 80% of the area median income, and their sales prices are going to range between $135,000 and $150,000. The 4 homes are going to be included in the City of Bridges Community Land Trust overall, providing, again, permanent affordability and home ownership opportunities for households that are below 80% AMI. City of Bridges, they began working with the Polish Hill Civic Association in 2017 to redevelop this site. It was previously destroyed by a fire, and in partnership with PHCA, City of Bridges, they engaged the community through a series of community meetings that eventually led to a community endorsed design and site plan. And the final meeting ended with a unanimous vote of all the residents that were present to support the required zoning variances that were needed for this project. And they now have that in place. Those have been obtained and addresses have been assigned to these vacant parcels. City of Bridges is going to start construction in July of 2022 and complete construction in spring of 2023. Similar to the Oakland deal that we just saw, involved in this project is the Federal Home Loan Bank's Affordable Housing Program. There's also PHFA's FAIR program, and then there are some philanthropy dollars from the Hillman Foundation. And the proposed grant, and well, I'll say total development costs for the 4 units is around $2.1 million. The proposed grant today for $450,000 from the URA, it's going to be sourced entirely with home funds. And I do want to just make it clear that this grant request does exceed our current for sale development program per unit maximum for new construction, which is $100,000. And due to that fact, we're also requesting a waiver of guidelines along with the approval of this grant today. So Ed Nusser from the City of Bridges is here today to answer any questions as well, but I'll wrap it up there and open it up for questions. Thanks.
Thanks, Evan. Ed, I saw that you're on. Didn't know if you had anything you wanted to add.
No, I just wanted to say thank you to URA board and leadership, and Evan and Victoria as staff have been great to work with on this project. It's been a long time coming to see and get this project this close to the finish line and get ready to have shovels in the ground this summer is really exciting. This site sat vacant for quite a bit of time in the heart of the Polish Hill neighborhood. And so we are really excited to get to work and get more permanently affordable homes available throughout the city.
Great, thanks, Ed. Any questions or comments from the board on the 4 projects that we just saw?
Mr. Chair, on the last one,
yeah,
certainly seems worth waiving the program guidelines, and for whatever it is, $12,500 per unit or something. Given that these are going to be affordable units for in perpetuity. So I fully support the project and the waiver of the guidelines. I am a little curious though on what is driving what seem to be extremely high costs. $2.1 million for 4 units seems like really high. So is there something specific to this project, Ed, that is and driving the construction costs really high?
I think we just lost
Oh,
it there.
thanks. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it's a combination of factors. The first is the site itself is quite challenging. It has a 20-foot grade drop across the site. So the engineering and just site prep work that has to go in to stabilize the hillside and to ensure that these homes are, structurally sound is much more significant than we typically encounter on a flat piece of land that we're developing on. And then additionally as well, there's a utility driver in there as well that the sewer line is 17 feet below the right of way. So there's a good bit of excavation that has to go in just for utility connections on Brereton Street, which is again over and above what we typically find on excavation. So largely the cost driver is driven by site constraints. And then, in addition, we are seeing significant material inflation increases. We bid this project in the fall, and then of course rebid it this spring to finalize things. And we saw a 7.5% increase on our bids just in 6 months.
Okay, thanks for that clarification. That's helpful. And really staggering.
Yeah.
It is a tough site, to be sure. Any other questions or comments from the board? I mean, I guess I'd just like this, this is a total of, just under $1.4 million we're investing in these 4 projects. 2 of them that are for sale will be permanently affordable. And then we have long-term affordability in the 2 projects that are rental, which we're preserving. Also, for some of our most vulnerable residents. So I know we've said it a couple times, at least since I've been on the board, when we envisioned the Housing Opportunity Fund, it's the ability to help support projects like this, that we had in mind. So it's exciting to see, and would echo the comments of all the community partners and thanking the staff, and Evan, Victoria, and sort of absentia for all the work that she's done in addition to you and Nicholas, but then also the community partners who are working on these projects every day as well. So thank everybody for this, and excited about it. And with that, I guess I'll entertain a motion for all of the items listed under residential lending and investments as a slate.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Great. The motion's carried. Thank you. Development services. First items: East Liberty Penn Circle two-way conversion site preparation contract number 6. I think Mac, you're presenting this one for us.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Hello, everyone. I'm Mac Luginski, Senior Project Engineer with the QC&I Department. Authorization is requested to enter into an agreement for $5,686,800 and $5,686,800 with Frank J. Zatola Construction. This is a site preparation construction services project. Next slide. This project converts Station Street and Euclid Avenue in the East Liberty neighborhood from one-way traffic to two-way multimodal neighborhood scale streets. Improvements to the roadway include new signals, bike lanes, curb bump outs, and other traffic calming measures to increase pedestrian and bike safety. This is the final phase of converting the Penn Circle urban renewal roadways into neighborhood scale streets. This work also includes street lighting, traffic signalization, storm drainage, piping installation, including inlets, paving, installation of concrete curbs and ADA sidewalk ramps, bus shelter relocations, and tree pits landscaping. Our tentative schedule, projected schedule, is to start next month. And it's roughly a 14-month project, should end August 2023. The project is financed by various sources, including ARPA, DCED TRID grant, LTRIDRA Phase 1, PennDOT Multimodal Grant, 2015 PAYGO East Liberty, LTRIDRA accrued interest, and a capital budget request. And this project is also MWB compliant. I'm very excited to get this project moving forward. It's been many years in the making. Any questions?
Thanks, Mike. Any questions or comments from the board? No? All right. Seeing none? Yeah. Go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
I was just making a motion to approve.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you, Mac.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
And then also under development services, Fairywood, Cedarwood Homes. Brett, believe you were joining us for this one.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hello, everyone. Today I'm presenting 3 actions pertaining to the Cedarwood Homes Senior Housing 9% LIHTC redevelopment in Fairywood. The first action is the acceptance of the developer's proposal package and authorization to enter into a disposition contract for the sale of 5 URA-owned parcels to Cedarwood Homes Holdings LLC for $434,900. The second and third actions are to approve a rental gap program loan in the amount of $1,412,368. And the third action is the waiver of RGP guidelines for the Cedarwood Homes development, as this loan would exceed the $1.25 million max per the guidelines. But the Cedarwood Homes development is actually the first LIHTC project in the West End. And to provide some background on the project, the URA issued an RFP in December of 2019 for these 5 parcels for the development of affordable housing. The site itself had remained vacant for over a decade since the demolition of the former Fairywood School. And with the completion of the RFP process, the URA worked closely with the mayor's office, the city, and Councilwoman Kill Smith's office, and ultimately selected Trico Partners as the developer, who happen to own and operate the neighboring Emerald Gardens housing development. Since receiving exclusive negotiations and an extension of site control in February of 21, Trico has since been working through the URA's disposition process, as well as towards completing the capital stack for the project. So a bit about the second and third board actions presented today. The proposed RGP loan would assist with the creation of 46 new units of senior housing, which would be contained within 11 single-story quads with individual ground floor entrances, as well as 1 duplex. All units will be 1-bedroom units and approximately 770 square feet. And there's a multitude of levels of affordability supported by this tentative URA Home 2021 funds, as well as 24 Section 8 project-based vouchers from the Housing Authority. Specifically, 5 units would be at or below 20% area median income, 19 units at or below 50%, 15 units at or below 60%, and then the 7 market rate units. This project is further supported by a first mortgage loan through PHFA, a gap financing loan, and those 24 PBVs through the Housing Authority, and then approximately $11.5 million in 9% low-income housing tax credit equity. The development team, as a note, will be requesting about $576,000 in additional tax credits to PHFA later this month, which will be needed to complete the capital stack. So the URA's approval of this RGP loan today would be contingent on the borrower closing the gap through either the PHFA tax credits or an additional external source. The URA's RGP loan otherwise, though, would occupy third lien position and require recording of a mortgage and a declaration which would ensure that these units do remain affordable for a period of 40 years. At any rate, this project will return to the URA board in the near future for the third step of the disposition process, which would be approval of final drawings, final evidence of financing, and authorization to execute a deed. But at this time, I'd like to introduce Isaac Sassoon, Vice President with Trico Partners, to provide a few brief remarks.
Thank you, Brett. I wanted to thank the chairman and the board, as well as Brett, for all of their assistance here. It's been a tremendously long process, but we're very happy to be. It started with an RFP back in 2019, and we're very happy that we're at the stage we are now, where this Cedarwood Homes development will represent one of the very first affordable housing in Pittsburgh's West End in many decades. So we're eager to continue moving forward and very excited about this project, and wanted to thank the URA for everything and all the assistance they provided to date. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Sassoon. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay. Brett, the item that you raised on the request for the additional LIHTC equity, presumably we'll know on that before the board takes final action. to your point with this being the second. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Once we have clarity on that, third action won't be advanced until we have an answer on those additional tax credits. Correct.
Do we have a sense of timing from PHFA on when they'll make a determination?
So the development is required to close by PHFA by September 1st.
Okay.
So it really, I think, would be determined in-house. I'm not sure, Isaac. I know you are looking to apply later this month, but I'm not sure if we have heard back from PHFA about expected timing of those additional tax credits.
I have not heard back yet, Brett. You're correct.
Okay. Great. Well, I know Representative Innamorato, Director Flistrom, and I just took a tour of District 2 with the council president, and she, shared her excitement over this project. So it's exciting to see it take another step forward. With that, entertain a motion to approve the resolutions under Fairywood Cedar Homes.
So move.
To a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Mr. Session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lastly, we have the disclosures agenda. Entertain a motion to approve it in its entirety.
So move.
We have a second.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? All right, the motion carries. With that, anything else from the board or staff for the good of the order?
I'd just like to thank all the staff who worked on these projects that we talked about today for all their hard work, but special honorable mention to the folks who worked on Penn Circle. There's not enough time to mention all of them. I mean, this thing has been around for a long time. Mac and Paul Martinchich have been kind of toiling away in anonymity on this thing, along with Nick Fedoric and Chris Sacedo when he was here, and at least a dozen other people whose name I'm not going to remember. So we kind of passed it with not a lot of fanfare, but I know a lot of people have been working and slogging on this for many months. So thank you to everybody.
Yeah, here. Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next month.
Thank you so much.
Here.
You take care.